Okay, so when everyone asks what you did this weekend, well, we've been having a bunch of fun issues. I was getting the property ready for everything that's to come, but also other plumbing issues, so things have to move, but we plan to move the animals anyway. So I'm standing in the current three-walled building structure that Celia and her dad had built years ago when she was a kid with the sheep. And then behind that, they threw down an old semi-trailer that was used as like junk storage, just piles of crap or whatever. But we're going to build a barn for all our animals to move them back here because it's, as you can see, way far away from the house. But thought, I bet you we can do this without spending any money. Let's see. So this is the door. It's like the side of a semi-trailer where you could, get stuff instead of having to do the roll-up. Cleaned all this out yesterday and started working that. Let's check this out. I worked well into the almost 2 in the morning last night, and obviously there's no light at nighttime, but I didn't want to wheel my generator way out here. So I saw this in a magazine once, thought it'd work. It's literally just a Maglite flashlight and an empty milk jug. And I tell you what, bud, it works. Let me find the button here. So as you can see, it makes a huge difference. It's like a real house light. It's pretty cool. Anywho, the new chicken coop. What I did was, to save money, I literally started reclaiming all the material from the current chicken coop. So they slept without a front wall last night, but I managed to take it all off, remeasure, recut it, and it's pretty interesting. So trailers, even though this is wood, and I know there's metal on the outside, there's no stud work like you would think. I mean, kind of, but it's real heavy steel. So like these strips, there's that, and then there's just the one in the middle. So there's a learning process for any of you who want to try this in the future. But anywho, here we go. So got some nice good hinges from the coop earlier, but half door, that way you can look in and then just step on through. And here's our new coop. There's some perches there. Mind the mess. This is me working for 2 days and taking everything out of here. That almost beat me. Almost made me burn the whole thing down, getting that thing mounted on the wall there. Like I said, I had to learn how these trailers were built just by kind of peeking and tearing it apart a little bit and figuring it out. But like I said, if you got some self-tapping metal screws and stuff that are really, really long, it'll hold. But there you go. There's our new chicken coop. All the full-grown ones will hang out here. Obviously, there's their nesting box. Some of them like to sleep in there, and then there's the perches that hang out on the front. For those that don't, this is just a thing we found somewhere, and I cut it in half, so it was like someone made a ladder out of just 2x4s, but we had it in another house, so I cut it in half. I know they like resting on that. And then a multi-perch system. One thing you want to keep in mind if you ever build this for yourself is, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but the perch boards are staggered. Like, I don't have them directly over each other, and the reason for that, I mean, the front is, but you can't really help make it perfect, but you stagger them that way. When they sleep, they poop, and when they poop, you don't want to pooping on each other, because then they get nasty, and then they get sick, and then they all die, and then you've wasted a lot of money, time, and attention on your critters that you no longer have. So there's that. But the key thing to this, which is why I told the family every time we go to RK, no more animals, and they complain, this right here is a brooder box. So I mean, it's just a basic box that's got a bunch of holes for ventilation. I'm tired of dealing with chicken wire and staples and all that. So just a nice little box, 2 foot by 4 foot here in the corner, so it fits. A clean latch in the front. And the reason for that is every year we end up, we always buy a few more chickens or a couple more ducks. Or last year we tried turkeys and pheasants and guineas. But Celia and her whole life, I guess, they've always just, kept them in a tote in the house, and then they move them to the shop, and then eventually they escape or get out into the field, and then they become normal birds. Well, no, I do not want birds in my house. And we've really done a lot of work to the shop up there, so the kids have a place to hang out, and I have a actual workshop, and Celia has a workshop, and you don't want to have messy, smelly, nasty chickens, because between the chickens making the mess, and then most people don't realize this, the bedding that you have to constantly put down, it just puts so much dust and debris in the air, everything's getting a nasty coat of that on it, so then it's just a problem. So this is why farmers that do it year round, they have a brooder. And what that does, the reason I wanted it in here, because it does twofold. The brooder box, you bring your babies out here, and it'll be set up when I get the electric ran. You have your heat lamp in there to keep them warm, and you have the lid here on top. That way while they're small, you can reach in, change food and water and stuff like that, which I'm going to set up some more permanent type things there to make it real simple. But for the quick version, yeah, you just have a flip top lid so you can reach and do that. And then you always want a whole wall to come down. That way, one, if they, you know, God forbid something dies in there, or when they get too big or too crazy and you just want them all out at once, you just open it and they'll come out. But mostly for cleaning, you'd be able to scrape it out and bring your next batch of chickens in there. But the other purpose of that, of why it's really good to keep it in the coop like this, is because you have to acclimate any new chickens to your current population. Because if not, the bigger chickens, I mean, yes, you wait until they're mostly full grown, but there is a size difference from the time of when they come out of the brooder and join the flock to where they're full grown. And the other chickens that you already have will notice that, and they'll pick on them, and they'll either starve them to death or beat them up, and then you got problems. But if they have them in the brooder the whole time, the chickens are familiar with them, they're familiar with your current population, and then when it's time, you always do it at night when you're dealing with chickens, you just open it up, and then in the next morning, when you open up, you know, the main door and let them out into their yard space or whatever, it's like, oh, they've been there forever, and the chickens are stupid enough to not realize the difference. So there's that. But yeah, so yeah, this is a semi-trailer. The roll-up door does work. I kind of threw it up there a little far earlier, but do this, and there you go. So the inside doors we came in through will be, you know, for access for cleaning and maintenance and, you know, sometimes feeding stuff. But for the most part, we'll just go through the roll-up door now. My neighbor has a really good setup. It's kind of hard to see. It's way over there. But when he built his nice chicken coop, he got like nice steel pipe. I mean, it can be done out of PVC. It's just a little difficult to do because it's very tensioned. So it'll really bend all the pipes if you're not good at it. And this heavy duty, it looks like chicken wire, but it's coated, it's heavy, thick plastic, and it's like a net run, and it's about the same as the trailer. So it's, I think, about 8 by 20 long on that. And I thought, well, if we're going with the idea of how far can we take this before we have to go to the store, which we did all that, didn't go to the store once. Almost had to go for screws, but I found some old long-lost screws and some old reclaimed everything. Like, do your best to save what you can. So, yeah. New chicken coop for nothing. It just, what you sacrifice from going to the store and buying it all, you have to give back in time to reclaim the material, pull nails out, pull screws out, cut boards, refit, all that sort of stuff. But you guys know the drill. But anywho, back to what I was saying, how he's got that kind of, you know, mesh run with the piping. I am gonna, so up at the front now, it's hard to see, but way up there, we did a lattice fence with netting and stuff, and just, you know, 2x2s to make the verticals, to just, you know, make a little fence. We were going to net the whole thing in because last year we had a really bad hawk problem. Thankfully that alleviated, but I realized I could do what my neighbor did with all that stuff. I'll pull my poles up because we did it quick last year. I didn't cement them in. I know, shame on me. But we will, I've got the Quickcrete now, so I'll pull all the poles up and undo the lattice because I screwed them in. I didn't just staple them. I did it kind of nice so it'd be sturdy. And then I will pull them back here and do the same thing because I've got enough lattice to go too high. So it'll be, you know, a wall. So 4 foot, 8 foot tall. And I'll go 20 feet long. And then I'll go, you know, the width of the trailer. So all I'll have to do is just take the existing bird netting, cover the top. Or if I can, you know, if I got enough lattice left over, I'll use that. But then they'll have an exterior run with their grass so they can come in and out. So the roll-up door over there, it won't be, you know, wide open. We can just open it a couple of feet every day. I'll put a door on the end so you can walk in, have some hanging feeders and stuff out here. And yeah, that'll be good to go. And that'll be all the new chickens. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm just excited that's done. The chickens will get to sleep in there tonight and get started, I think. As far as the other half of the trailer, we got some piggies that still need a permanent home because they're still up by the chickens. Like I said, everything worked there for a while, but not so much. Whoa, that came in low. Anywho, I'm gonna cut two little doors on the far side and build 2 stalls for the pigs and a half wall. That way when you walk in the middle door where we started our little journey, on the side of the trailer, that'll just be a walk space about 3-4 feet wide. And then I'll put some shelves if I can on the far wall for feed and maintenance, like medicine and halters and stuff like that, because we will, you know, we have our alpacas and sheep still back here. So it'd be a good place to keep it out of the rain and nice and close by. But have all that there, and then all the animals will be in one spot just like we like it. That way it's easy to maintenance, easy to feed, and very organized, and that makes my heart happy. So working hard, doing everything that we can do to keep it going and getting it done. So thanks for coming on the little journey here and let me be a little proud of myself for the hard work I did, because it was a challenge, and originally I was just gonna build it, go to Home Depot and get the material, and we were gonna spend like a couple $1,000s to get it done. And so he was like, I think we can keep reusing this stuff. I think we can use this. I think so. Gave it a shot, came out here and looked at everything and realized in how good a shape this semi-trailer was still in. And I was like, I can do this. So that was a learning experience. It was a good one, and I'm glad it'll be taken care of, and it'll help clean up the backyard so we can fence it in for the kids and the dogs, because we have the 2 puppies now, and I'd like to get my dog permanently over here. He listens really well, but being so close to the road, when he likes to run and chase stuff, it just makes me nervous. So if we get all out of there, then I can properly fence in the backyard, and we'll be all good to go. A lot less stress for everybody. But this was step 1. New barn. Phase 1 complete. Why? Why do we do what we do and work so hard well into the night, regardless of what's going on around us? Because that's what heroes do.